Okay, there we go. Thank you, everyone. It's such an honor and a pleasure to be here at Jfokus. Let's get started. I have this nice image that I want to show you. Hmm. Okay. Let me see. Aha. Okay, no problem. Let me fix that. It's a game. Juke, get the container. Oh, what's that? I think it's a pod. Let's give the container to the pod. Okay. Let me kick the pod now. Oh, there we go. Rolling update. Woo! And what is going to happen now? Oh, that is Kubernetes. Okay. Oh, I forgot to do something, but now. Oh, look at this. He really deployed the container. And so now if I do that. Ooh. So. Welcome to my talk. And you are wondering, did he really create an app that just contains an image? He created a container for that. You put that in a pod and you deploy that on a real Kubernetes cluster. Totally, because it's fun. And now it was just, since we were talking about platform, engineering, and Java, I say, hey, let's make a game with Juke. So this is a real playable game. If you're wondering what I'm using for this, I'm using the best language ever called Scratch. And I have a fourth version here. I have a Kubernetes block that deploy images for me. Because I promised, if you wonder why I'm using a pocket ball for the pod, that is because of Aurélie Vache. She invented that concept of representing a pod with a pocket ball. She has wrote a book that's called Understanding Kubernetes in a Visual Way. I really recommend that to you. And yeah, I had to give her the credits for the pocket ball. Okay, back to the boring stuff now, slides. Don't worry. So I have a few slides, and then I will switch quite quickly to demos because I prefer demos to slides. But yeah, I need to give some context, some, you know. So the idea is to first of all, oh, that's interesting. He keeps here. Okay, but that's okay. The idea is to do a little history of IT, and when I say history, is when I started working back in 2004. I know there was IT before me. They sent people to the moon in '69, and I still have to Google how to remove a folder in Bash. So, but anyway, I'm Sebastien Blanc. I'm a developer advocate for Aiven. Aiven is a data platform. Okay, and you might wonder, what is a developer advocate? Well, my role is to make developers happy. And that's what I try to do. That's why I created this silly game. And, well, creating internal developer platforms, in the end, is also to make developers happy. So it's totally linked. But let's go back a bit in the past. Back in the 80s, so just before I started, I was still playing Lego at that time. But, yeah. Internet was young, yeah, and 100 megabyte disk was huge, okay? That was all the beginning of IT. They all had mainframes. Well, I know some companies that still have mainframes, and it's working really well. It was all based on bare metal, okay? No question of cloud. Yeah. And they were trying to apply the industrial model to IT, which didn't really always fit, okay? And we had walls and silos. And honestly, in most companies, still the same. But you have the product owners dropping their specs to developers. The developers code their things. They throw it to the sysadmins. And they throw it to ops. well, for me, sysadmins and ops is more or less the same because I'm a developer, but apparently it's different there. But a lot of silos, people not really talking together. But in the same time, we as developer, we had our tooling that involved a lot. Let's go back again in the past. I'm sure you all recognize this. In my first project, to create the build for that was going in production, and I was working for a big insurance in the Netherlands, so it was not a small startup. Someone in the team opened his Eclipse and exported the WAR file and put that on a folder, and then he sent an email to ops. I said, hey, there is the WAR file, or it was an ER file. Good luck. Remember, we are on Windows, so slash and backslash is not totally the same. Oh yeah, we updated the GDK and we are using another GDBC stuff. Of course, on Friday, and then we were all spending the weekend together trying to fix production. Dependencies, that was also funny. I remember the time that we had to hunt ourselves on the internet to find the dependencies, and we were downloading that and putting that in a folder. And then we have Ent, where we could say, hey, listen, Ent, there are the dependencies. But yeah, it was funny. We had also source control that got introduced. I remember working before there was any source control that we were, copying and renaming folders, version 1. And I remember I was working with someone that when we first introduced CVS, he didn't trust it, and he printed out the 2 versions of the Java for him, and he was comparing that by hand. Real story, okay? Anyway, we had some source control tools. CVS was great. Subversion was awesome. ClearCase. I remember the first time I committed on ClearCase, it was like, took me the whole day. But anyway, we started to have some good tooling for we as developers, okay? Wow, finally we had some dependency management with Maven, but also before that we had Ant with Ivy. You probably remember that. Ivy could do, the age-old, I forgot it, the age-old dependency manager. But anyway, that was really a revolution, and I said, better than doing a JavaC and passing your class pass. I also did that. Small anecdote, the first project I worked on, I was still an intern. The production machine was, of course, just a desktop machine, where Eclipse was on that. And I remember we had a production issue with the class called login.java. And my project manager, he called me because he was remote, and he said, okay, Sebi, you open Eclipse on the production machine, you fix. He told me the fix, and then I did a JavaC of this class, and I took the dot class and I drag and drop it in. It was in Resin, a servlet container, so it really exists. Unit testing and continuous integration. Yeah, finally we started to test, okay? Even if we know that testing is doubting, but you should test. But again, that was new tooling that got incorporated in our development flow, and it makes things really easy. Same thing for a monitoring tool. That's more for the ops people, but instead of monitoring thousands of screens, we started to automate that and have some alerting system, and that made also our life way easier. It went really well, really fast, okay, for us, for developers, and still the structure, the organizations were not evolving with this whole change in tooling and development processes. And that's where we started to have new development processes as well. Oh yeah, and Bash will still be used. You will see that this a lot. So we introduced some new concepts, new methodologies, buzzword that changed the IT. So I have a really strong personal opinion about agility. You will see that in a few slides. I made these slides with a colleague of me that we love agile. Um, extreme programming, so focusing on programming with courage, respect, feedback, communication. That is a pretty good approach, okay? The Agile Manifesto, by essence, was also pretty good. Then, in my opinion, it went a little bit wrong. Was a bit overused, okay? But the idea was, remember the other slide where we have these walls? With all those methodologies was to break the walls, break down the silos, okay? Communicate together, having short sprints, etc. And again, there was some issues with Agile, okay? A lot of business around that. That's my slide. I was allowed to add this one and the following one, okay? So I think the tooling, the Agile methodology and tooling was a bit too much present, okay? I have also this one, and then I will start talking about Agile. Okay, so, but anyway, it was good. Things needed to change, you know? We need to empower developers, and they talk more with ops and etc. And slowly oh yeah, this also mine. In my opinion, Scrum. We're going back to the industrial ages where we have really short chunks of work, and we have to time it. And that is, I think that's a picture from Adam Smith. Lipenglier. He tells how if you cut a big chunk of work in small pieces, you can become more efficient. But then, yeah, we know what happened in the industry. All of this to say that we talk about agility, and a few years later, we started to talk about DevOps, bringing developers and operations together, working together, yay. And it's a bit the same as agility, okay? And agility is planning, design, develop, test, deploy, where DevOps is also this, is I code, I build, I test, I release, I deploy. It operates, we monitor, something comes back, and we are in constant discussion with the operation team, okay? So agility and DevOps go more or less together. And again, that's good news. I troll a lot about agility, but in the end, yeah, it's good. Okay, could we have agility without DevOps? Maybe. But the whole idea again is to break this wall of confusion. Okay, breaking the wall, and how can we do that? Well, again, I'm a developer, so I talk from the point of view of a developer by empowering developers, giving them the power, the tools, the self-service to deploy their stuff. Okay, let me skip this one. This one is all agility stuff. The cloud, ooh, the cloud, which is just renting server time in other people's infra. Okay, that's the real definition of cloud. Okay, in the end. But that changed a lot of stuff, okay? We moved away from on-prem and slowly moved away from virtualization to the cloud, where we don't have this notion anymore of infra, really, okay? It's the beginning of serverless, okay? So I have a workload. I want to run it on someone else's infra, and I don't care how someone else's infra is. What is really important for me is that it runs in production, because the only important code is the code in production, as Josh Long will say. And there are 5 pillars. On-demand self-service, okay? So me as a developer, I need to be able to get, I don't know, a namespace on a Kubernetes cluster, to get a database. And for that, I don't want to open tickets and wait weeks before I get my VM ready, okay? Network access, resource pooling, elasticity, measured service. That is more up stuff, but for me, as a developer, the most important part here is on-demand self-service, okay? And we're slowly coming to platform engineering let me check the time. Yeah. So self-service demand automation. Okay, we need tooling for that, so that the developer can ask for resources in an automated way if possible, and our infra must be able to handle that. Again, we don't want to create a tickets and stuff like that. We want to move away from that, and it's really a mentality change, and it's not easy. Empowering power developers, infra is only one click away or one line of code away, because that's the other big difference. Now you can declare your, let me skip that, I want to see, yeah. The main difference now is that with the cloud, you can declare what you want, the desired state of your infrastructure. You can describe that in code. And that's the huge change. If you compare that with VMware software, where you have a lot of clicks and stuff and like that, and where only the VMware ops could do that, now anyone can declare the desired state of his infra and commit that on a repo, for instance, and that get picked up. That's the whole GitOps movement, okay? Containers, containers everywhere. Change our life as well as developers. We thought for us, it was really easy suddenly, okay? I create my container, it works on my machine, it works in production, it's true. For the ops people, it was not that really easier for them, okay? Because they had all those containers that they had to manage, and they started to write scripts to manage them, to scale them, to upgrade them. And then we had Kubernetes, okay? So this is a really opinionated talk today. I talk about platform engineering, and for me, the backbone is and will be, if you don't like it, will be Kubernetes. So I think that everything will be built on top of that. Okay, it takes care of my containers, of course, deployment, scaling, monitoring. It's pretty amazing once you start playing with it. And I was trolling a lot Kubernetes before I used it, and when I start using it, I realized it was really good. And Kubernetes is a starting point to empowering developers, because it all works with resources that you declare, that you apply to your cluster, and then things happen. Okay, you define a desired state. Okay, and you have the scheduler that will pick the right node, it will scale, etc. Okay, so my talk is Java Unleashed, fueling internal developers platform. So it all starts with Kubernetes and how we as a Java developer, we can interact with Kubernetes. We know Kubernetes was built in Go. Okay, we have kubectl. I was using kubectl here, which is pretty nice. Get kubectl, get pods. I get my pods, okay? But me as a Java developer, if I want to start building some tooling, maybe a facade portal in front of my Kubernetes cluster, do I have some tooling around Java and Kubernetes? Because everyone's saying, yeah, it's Go. We have the Go library. It's the best library to interact with Kubernetes. Well, in fact, and let me see, I think I can stop with my boring slides. GitOps. Platform. Let's stop here. Can we use Java to interact with Kubernetes? The answer is yes, and I want to demo that right now. Because what we have, let me exit this. We have one library out there, which is called the Kubernetes Java and OpenShift, because people from Reddit are working on it, so they added it to the title. But consider that as the Kubernetes Java client. Who knows about the Fabricate Java client here? Almost no one, which is great. That's why you are here. And basically, it's an SDK that will interact with the REST API of your Kubernetes cluster. And it makes it really easy as us, Java developers, to start building stuff, tooling that we would need to interact with our cluster. And without speaking more, let's create a project where we play with this library. Let me make maybe, no, if I cannot type, mkdir. Let's call it live. Let's go to live. And let's open code, even if it's empty. It's a bit stupid what I did here, but anyway. And here I say, okay, let me, and of course I will be using Quarkus to demo that, because Quarkus is the best Java stack out there, and you should all use it. Build tool, Maven, Gradle. Is Louis in the room? No, let's go for Maven. Okay. Ooh, Java version. That's new. They changed that yesterday, no? Okay, anyway, my live demo, perfect title, okay? And I gave it package, start code, pod resource, yeah, remember that from my rehearsal yesterday. And what do I want to use as endpoints, as extensions, sorry. I want to use, well, it's already there, but let me type it again, the Kubernetes client. And I want to expose some stuff on as REST endpoints. So let me go for REST easy reactive. Okay, and I'm sure at one point I will also need to merge all objects and stuff like that. So let me do REST with easy reactive. Jackson, is that the one? Yes, that's the one. Okay, that should be good for now. Okay, there we go. Generate here. Yes, let's do it here. Okay, and let me open that in a new window. Okay, ooh, a lot of windows. Okay, so I'm not here to talk about Quarkus, but Quarkus is awesome. Let me just start the app here. And let me go and let me start in dev mode. So that will start my project. Okay. That won't work because I haven't stopped my other application. You know my Scratch game in the beginning that you saw? That was, of course, also a Quarkus app, which is here, and that I stop now. And don't look, otherwise you will be spoiled for the rest of the talk. My life. And you will see that I'm a bit messy with my windows. There we go. That should be better. Let me start the app. Okay, awesome. There we go. It's running. Let me open another one. If I do a curl localhost, localhost 8080/hello. I got hello. Awesome. But yeah, I'm here to talk about Kubernetes. How can I interact with my Kubernetes cluster? I have a cluster running here. Before I forget, let me export the stuff here. kubectl cluster info. Yeah, I have my plane. It's running on Civo. I would like to thank Civo, but we give me some credit so I can run this demo. But it's a small cluster, but enough for the demo. Okay, cool. So what I could do now is create a new file. Let me call that the Kubernetes service.java. Okay, I make it here a bean with application scoped, and then I inject my Kubernetes client. Okay, and here I could. Thank you, Copilot. It's the first time I do live coding with Copilot, and that thing can just read my mind. It's crazy. Imagine I want a method that gives me all the pods in all my namespaces. Okay, so that's how easy it is with this client. Okay, it's here I say I have my client. I want to interact with my pods. Okay, I could be interacting with something else with my deployment, with my services, but here with my pods, in any namespace, okay, list them all, get all the items, and convert that to a string. Okay, let's see if this works. So I go here to my resource, I inject my Kubernetes service, okay, and before I try it out, there are a few things I need to do because security is important. So I just need to add one dependency here because I'm not, is that the one? Yes. I need to add some complicated bouncy case tool. Don't ask me about it. But I need that. And I also need to set this TLS. Oh yeah, and that is VS Code trolling me. No, these are not Spring Boot properties. These are Quarkus properties. Okay, and here I want to say, because again, security is important. Okay, so in my pod resource, instead of hello, returning hello, I will ask my Kubernetes service to retrieve me the pods. And why is he complaining? Return. Yeah, why do I need return? I'm an old groovy developer. You should not need return. Okay, I see some red stuff, which is not great, which should not happen. So let me just start again and see what happened. I should not have to start again, but since I saw Ollie yesterday, she also had some issues. Why is he trying to? Ooh, sorry. He's trying to start. Oh, really? It says, okay, Jakarta inject. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's too much on my beard. Yeah, I get that. Thank you. It was just to see if you were paying attention. Cool. Oh, yeah. And now I have to remove this. Oh, good. Okay. Let's suppose you didn't saw anything. Let's start again. So, why did I import the wrong one? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, that will run. There we go. And now if I do my curl localhost hello, that will retrieve all the pods that I have in my container. And it's really true. It's not a joke. Eh? So this is pretty simple. Maybe I would like to do something else. Let me add another service that I could do here. Maybe I would like to be able to let me just return void to scale a pod, a deployment. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Copilot. It's exactly what I want to do. It's crazy, except this, but you cannot be that smart. So that's another one. I want to be able to say, hey, I give you a deployment name, and I give you the number of replicas, and you scale it. So again, here I retrieve all my deployments in the namespace Jfokus with this name, and I scale it to the number of replicas. Okay, so easy enough. I can add another method here. Let me add that to the path scale. Thank you, Copilot. It produces, yeah, probably. And here I just scale. Oh, but it returns 0. And yeah, looks like that it worked. Return scaled. I love that. Let me just go to my Jfokus namespace. Let me see if I have any deployment in there. Get deployment. I have a lot. All my tests, you say. I have my deployment at 5. Let's scale it to 7, because why not? Okay. And here I pass that. So normally I should use here / that people can decide what they can do, of course. But here I'm a bit in a hurry, I see. Let me scale that to 7. Okay. Let me do a kubectl. No, let me do a watch kubectl get pods. Okay, so my deployment is here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I want to scale it to 7. So if I call my endpoint, and which I called the curl hello / scale, if demo gods are with me, and I scaled. I go back here, and you can see my deployments. There, 10 seconds, there it is, okay? So I can do that, cool. So I want to keep it simple, but just to show you how easy it is to create this kind of stuff, okay? You all saw it during this conference. Everyone is talking about AI. And I believe that platform engineering and AI, generative AI, can work together because it's all about on-demand stuff. And you can do some crazy stuff with AI. Let me show you because it's really, really, really great. Let me first add a new dependency here. LangChain4j, but the Quarkus extension, okay. And let me also add, close your eyes, because that's my token hub. I will deactivate it tonight. But anyway, that should be good now, okay. And what I can do is I can create a new interface that I called my AI service.java, and it's an interface, and here I say register that as an AI service, okay? And then I can see here public string chat, and I pass a user message, which is my prompt, okay? String message, okay, that's it. And just with this, I could talk already to an OpenAI endpoint. But what you might say, but yes, Sebi, that has nothing to do with what you're showing right now. Let me show you what you can do. If we go back here to our Kubernetes services, those two methods here, what I can say is, hey, can say this is a tool, okay? This is a tool, and it gets all my pods, okay? And I can define here another tool that say, scale my deployment with the specified number of replicas and name of the deployment of, thank you, Copilot. Okay, so I'm annotating this service class with tools, okay? And look, it comes from LangChain. Okay, that's one thing. What I can do to my register service, I say, hey, I will be using tools. I will be using k8services.class, and that is an hallucination Copilot. Sometimes he hallucinates. I will say, you can interact with the OpenAI LLM, but I give you also those tools, okay? And maybe you're still not seeing the point, but let me add a new endpoint that I called get and on the path chat. I miss here stuff, okay, and I need to inject my AI service, there it is, okay, and chat here. It will produce this text plain, yeah, public string, and message, no, sorry, string prompt, okay, that will be the body, and here I pass the prompt, okay, so basically, now I created a new endpoint, which is really flexible, which is a prompt, but I should be able to interact with my LLM, and my LLM should be aware of those two methods here, those two tools, okay? So let's see if that is going to work. The endpoint is hello. Let me go here. Thank you. You're totally right. That should be better, no? And the body is injected. Yeah, I think that will work. Here I say hello, chat, okay. And here I can say, hi, cluster. How are you? Could you give me all the pods? I don't know. I have no idea if that's going to work. Let's see. OpenAI is a bit slow. No, he doesn't want. Request too large for... Ooh. Ooh. That is funny. One moment. No, that's funny. Always funny, the demo gods. Let me fix that really quickly. That's my other secret project. And I should be able to fix that. Close your eyes. No. There we go, my live demo. Oh, close your eyes again. I go on another model, a bigger model. Should be better. Okay, let me move away from here. Let me start again. Otherwise, I have my backup demo that works also pretty well. There we go. Because I was not planning to expose this get pods stuff. But let's see. I have a bigger context window now, so that should be better because I'm using a really pricey model now. Hi, cluster. How are you? Could you? But he's smart enough to say to understand that I say could you? Oh, we could put the music, the elevator music again. Okay, so Demogods decided to play with me, which is not a problem. Let me just go back to this other stuff. Come on, Sebi. I can do it. Let me start this one here. Okay, this one here has also a pod service deploy. Here I have other tools. I have skill deployment and deploy container. Okay, it's exactly the same. And I have endpoints of pods/chat. Okay, string message, it's running. Okay, let me go back here. And I will say here, hi cluster, pods. Hi cluster, how are you? Could you deploy the image Fedora for me and set my deployment to 6 replicas? Okay, so here I'm asking my cluster to do stuff, and now it's going to work because demo gods they're really powerful in Sweden, but I think they're in the end. Oh, look at this. The deployment has been scaled to 6 replicas successfully. Okay, and why didn't you deploy my image? What about my Fedora image? Can you deploy it, please, for me? Let's see. Oh, really? Okay. Let's see if he's hallucinating or not. Kubernetes, Jfokus. Okay. kubectl get deployments. And I should have here my 70 seconds. Oh, look, he did it. Okay. So imagine how crazy it is. I'm just talking to my LLM and he can just call tools. So for me, and it's a bit risky for now, and you saw it, but I think in the future, in a short future, we don't need any REST endpoints, complicated REST endpoints with a lot of contracts and stuff like that. We defined tools, okay, whole set of tools, and then we provide just one endpoint, which is a string, which is a prompt. And the developer can just ask whatever he wants, and yeah, the length chain for J is powerful enough to call the tools with the right parameters. 10 minutes, awesome. Okay, but for me it's mind-blowing. Okay, 10 minutes. Woo, we'll have to skip some stuff, but maybe you like Quarkus, you like LLMs and stuff like that, but you thought, hey, Sebi, that's maybe a bit too much. I would like a simple tool, still Java, to script quickly stuff, create a CLI. Have you something for me? Yes. I just have to stop my other app. Where is my other app running? There it is. Okay. No, that's totally not this one. There we go. Deploy container. Let me stop that. Okay. And this tool is called, you have a hint here. It's called JBang. I just wanted to quickly, I spent 2 minutes to show you what, does anyone know JBang? And tools? Okay. JBang, go on the internet, search what JBang is. JBang is your toolkit for when it comes to Java and quickly scripting something and keep it easy. Not creating a POM file, not a whole structure. I just want to do Java straight and fast. So imagine that I want to create a small CLI tool to interact with my cluster. What I can do here, I can say, hey, JBang init, my cool plugin, let me say my really cool plugin. And now I regret that I typed so long. Okay, I got it. I can open that in code. Let me show you how it looks like. My really cool plugin, it's here. Okay, so that is how JBang works. I declare my dependencies like this. Okay, and here, because I'm short in time, I will just show you. What you can do is import the Kubernetes client, for instance. Okay, and then you can do exactly the same what I did here, retrieving all the pods. And in the end, what I have, and I will not code the Kubernetes part because it's a bit long. I will keep this one really simple, my really cool plugin. If I come back here, I can say, hey, JBang run my really cool plugin. Hello world. Hello Sebi. Super cool. But imagine you are doing some Kubernetes stuff, and at one point you want to create a kubectl plugin, because that's also a thing really cool that usually people do in Bash or in Go. But with JBang, it makes it really easy. I say, okay, I want to replace my really cool, why did I put MVN? No. MV, and I want to rename that to kubectl, and that is a convention. Any stuff in the past that has the prefix kubectl dash will become a kubectl plugin. Okay, so I'm doing that now, and I can say to JBang, hey, install this in my path. So now I have this in my path. If I do kubectl, my really cool, no completion, come on. If I do this and I don't need the .java, okay. Oh yeah, I know I was going to regret this really long name. My really cool plugin, so it's working, but that also means now that I can do kubectl, my really cool plugin, Jfokus, for instance. Okay, and here I'm using kubectl, but in the end I'm using a plugin that I just created in Java. Imagine how powerful that could be. I could even put some AI in, but I won't. I have 6 minutes left. I spend way too much on demos because I love demos. Okay. So anyway, we have tools, but then it comes to build your real platform. And what is your real platform? So platform is abstracting. In the end, you don't really even want the users to know that they are using Kubernetes in the end, okay? It's a fancy name for something that exists in most of the companies, okay? Most of the companies have a platform, but they don't know it. The only problem is that they have created homemade stuff, and at one point it will collapse. That's why they should all build on a solid basis, which is Kubernetes. When it comes to build your platform, you go to the CNCF landscape, and you have to pick some tools. You pick some tools, you still have a lot of options because for your platform you want some CI, you want logging stuff, security stuff. You still have a lot of stuff, okay? And maybe you have some custom processes that you would also like to automate beside those tools that you have created, okay? And in the same time, you want to manage the self-service, okay? You want to give access to the developers, but you still want to have a bit of control of that. And it was so fun searching for those GIFs. So a platform, and I'm really 5 minutes to talk about platform engineering. Let's go. But basically, let's keep it simple. Platform engineering, again, is about empowering developers. We have some tooling. We have one thing on top of Kubernetes, which is called the operator pattern, where you will be able to define your own API, your own custom resource definition, where you will be able to encapsulate everything that you want to provide to your users, okay? And that's more or less what platform engineering is, and Bash will still be used. Don't worry about that. Oh, since we are Java developer. For me, an internal developer platform is the new facade pattern. Remember that? And that's also a challenge for me to put some UML in a presentation in 2024. But yeah, you have the facade and subsystem. Platform is exactly the same, okay? You provide a facade. That is more or less what I did in the demo with a prompt, okay? The facade was just a prompt, and behind we have tools that get called, okay? And it makes the life easier for developers. Team pathologies, way too boring. Let me skip that. Platform, you should consider that as a product, okay? Your consumers of your platform are the developers in your company, okay? And you, the platform team, you handle your platform like a product. And how can you build this product? Well, I showed you some, as a Java developer, I showed you some tooling already, okay? But this is really the core basis. Where it becomes really, yeah, Bash will still be used. Well, it will become really, really, really useful is when you will start, and I won't have time to demo that, and it's too bad because I was pretty sure I was able to show you that, is building your own operators, okay? Operator, a CRD, what is a CRD? It's easy for a Java developer. A CRD is your class, okay? You define your class, okay? And then you can create instances. And this is where Kubernetes is way more than an orchestrator of containers. It's a base platform on top of which you can build whatever you want. You can define a custom resource, and you have a controller, which is a pod, which can run Java, and that can do anything it wants, even if that's nothing to do with Kubernetes. Like my company, we have an operator that you can use in Kubernetes to provision a database that doesn't even run in Kubernetes, because it's so easy, it's so powerful. We have the reconciliation loop and all the power of Kubernetes. You can build your own operator. And I don't have time for that, but I will share some stuff. We have a Java operator SDK, and we have I have 2 minutes left. And we have a Quarkus extension to build your operators. Let me just show you how it looks like. We won't build one live. Is my Java operator. So basically, you define your custom resource. Here I create one that was called the useful stuff, okay, that has some spec, which is just a name, okay, and that will create for me my CRDs, okay, and here I can say, hey, Quarkus, when you run in dev mode, apply that automatically to my cluster. So I run this in dev mode, I create my operator, I have my reconciliation loop here, where I say, hey, basically do stuff, create stuff, get my useful stuff inside here, and deploy whatever you want. And I have all the power of Quarkus, the live coding in, and I can start building my own operators, okay? says way more than that. I'm really running late. I'm sorry about that. Because yeah, I had other great stuff to show you, and Bash will still be used. Yes. That was it for me. I'm still here today. So if you want to see how you can milk an operator, just grab me somewhere, and I will be more than happy to give a demo about that. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your conference, and see you soon. Thank you.